Hello guys, welcome to another digital SAT math test prep video presented to you by SX Math Help LLC. We are the math tutors in Montclair, New Jersey. Our contact information is listed here. In case if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And today's topic will be in algebra again, but this time we will cover the linear inequalities in two variables. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. So if you may recall, in the last video we covered the linear inequalities in one variable, like for example x is greater than or equal to 32, y less than 24, x, or rather let's use another variable here, t is greater than 25, m is less than or equal to -5. So these are linear inequalities in one variable, alright, but today we will talk about linear inequalities in two variables, right. So again, as a reminder, inequality signs are greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, alright. These are the inequality signs that you must remember. Okay, so today's topic would be the linear inequalities in two variables. Let's say x plus 2y is less than or equal to 3, 3m plus 2n is greater than 5, something like that. So you have an equation, or rather not an equation, excuse me, an inequality which has two variables x and y here. You have an inequality again which has two variables here, m and n here, alright. So today we will talk about these, and probably we will do some couple of graphing work at the end, and that's the plan for today, alright. Okay, so let's go and do the first problem here. Again, as a reminder, please as and when you read this problem, please pause this video and try to solve the problems by yourself, and then you can always come back to check your answers, right. So that's, I strongly encourage you to do that. And let's start with this first problem. You go to a store to buy x gallons of 2% milk and y gallons of 4% milk. A gallon of 2% milk costs $3 and a gallon of 4% milk costs $4. So you want to spend no more than 20 bucks to purchase milk. So write an inequality for the same. So there are two variables here. One variable corresponds to 2% milk, the other variable corresponds to 4% milk, right. Okay, so let's assume you buy m gallons of 2% milk and you buy n gallons of 4% milk, and they say each gallon of a 2% milk costs $3 and each gallon of 4% milk costs $4, right. 2%, 4%, let me make sure I wrote the numbers right. You know what, let's change it slightly, because the question has it as x and y, not m and n. X gallons of 2% milk, as you see here, and y gallons of 4% milk, alright. Let's change, but again, any variables are possible, m and n, a and b, p and q, x and y, anything is possible. But in this question, they're given that you are purchasing x gallons of 2% milk and y gallons of 4% milk, and a gallon of 2% milk costs $3 and a gallon of 4% milk costs $4, alright. And you don't want to spend more than 20 bucks. That means you want to spend less than or equal to $20, alright. Again, so the amount of money that you spend on 2% milk is 3 times x, okay. If you buy 1 gallon of 2% milk, this is 2% milk. If you buy 1 gallon of 2% milk, you spend $3. If you buy 2 gallons of 2% milk, you spend $6, 3 times 2, and so on and so forth. And as far as 4% milk is concerned, you are spending 4 times y, okay. For 2% you are spending 3 times x, and for 4% milk you are spending 4y, alright. So you are spending 4 times y. That's the amount of money that you spend to buy y gallons of 4% milk, right, which are $4 per gallon. So together you spend this much. 3x plus 4y is the total money you spend, or you will spend, to buy both 2% milk and 4% milk in that store, and this has to be less than or equal to 20, because that's the maximum budget that you have allocated to buy milk on that day. So 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 20. So this is the inequality for this problem. And again, as you see, this is a linear inequality in this is an inequality in two variables, linear inequality in two variables x and y. Alright. Okay, good. So I hope you got this problem, and let's move on to the next problem. So you walk W miles a day. So you walk W miles a day and you run R miles a day. That's given in the question. This is all in one day, per day. Alright. You want to walk and run for no less than 10 miles a day. When you say less than 10 miles a day, it's less than. This is a sign. Right? This is a sign for less than. When you say no less than, we are talking about greater than or equal to. Okay, it's the opposite of less than, which is greater than or equal to. That is no less than. Alright, so you want to walk and run no less than 10 miles a day. So that means you're walking W miles a day, you're running R miles a day. Together you're walking and running W plus R miles in a day, and you want to do this no less than 10 miles. So which means it's greater than or equal to 10 miles. You have to do it at least 10 miles, 10 or more. Okay, so this is inequality. Again, this is inequality with two variables W and R, and this is the answer for this question. Alright, W plus R should be greater or equal to 10. You want to do at least 10 miles. Alright folks, next problem. You walk at a speed of x miles per hour. Okay, this is walking, this is running. Excuse me, this is jogging, not running. Okay, this is a jogging problem. You walk, you jog. The speed is what? You walk at the speed of x miles per hour and you jog at the speed of y miles per hour. Okay, and the time you spend for walking is 1 hour a day, and the time you jog is 2 hours a day. Alright, okay, which means the distance. Let's compute the distance. The distance is what? Speed is distance over time, or distance is speed times time. So let's do this. Speed is x, time is 1 hour, so it's x times 1 miles. Alright, and the distance for jogging, this how far you go by jogging, it is speed times time again. So the speed is y miles per hour, and the time that you spend for jogging is 2 hours, so it's 2y. Okay, together you walk a distance of 1x and 2y. Right, 1x and 2y. Together you walk and jog. You cover a distance of 1x plus 2y miles. Okay, and you want to walk and jog for at least 10 miles a day. So which means it should be greater than or equal to 10. At least means greater than or equal to. Alright, so this is the answer for this problem. 1x plus 2y should be greater than or equal to 10. Okay, let's rewrite this. Let's rewrite this. Greater than or equal to 10. This is the answer. This is inequality for the problem. Again, this is inequality with two variables x and y. Remember, speed is distance over time. Distance is speed times time. So this is an important thing that you must remember. Alright. Okay, 3 times the number m, which means it is 3m, and 2 times the number n, which is 2n. When added up, it means you add these two up. You add 3 times the number m and 2 times the number n. It should be less than 100. It should be less than 100. This is inequality. Again, 3m plus 2n is less than 100. Again, we have it's inequality in two variables. Alright. Alright folks, next problem. You have $250 with which you want to buy some shirts and pants. Each shirt costs $22. This is the cost of shirt. And each pants costs $28. Write an inequality to represent the combination of shirts and pants that you could buy. So you have $250. You can spend up to $250. So let's assume you're buying the number of units purchased, or to be purchased. Let's say you want to buy S shirts and P pants. Right? I don't want to stick with x and y variables, x and y all the time. So I'm sticking with S and P. So you want to buy S shirts, P pants, maybe 5 shirts, 6 pants, 3 shirts, 2 pants, whatever it is. So S shirts and P pants, because how many units you're buying, it's not given. So I'm going to assume with some variables. Alright. So amount spent is what? Price times quantity. The price of the shirt is $22. Price of each shirt is $22, and the quantity that you buy is S units. So it's 22S is the amount that you spend to buy shirt. So the amount that you spend to buy pants is again price times quantity. This is a price, this is a quantity. So it's 28P. Alright, together you spend 22S plus 28P to buy both shirts and pants. Alright, and you have $250. So you cannot exceed your expense beyond $250 to buy your shirts and pants in the store. So 22S plus 28P should be less than or equal to 250. Okay, that's the maximum budget you have to spend to buy your shirts and pants. Alright, so this is a bit lengthy problem, but let's do this together. Let's do this together. So they have given you the inequality 6m plus 12n is less than or equal to 240, and they say what m and n are. M represents the number of notebooks and n represents the number of books that one can buy. Okay, the number 6 represents the cost of each notebook, that's one notebook, that's number 6. The number 12 represents the cost of each book, this is the cost of each book. So you are spending 6m plus 12n to buy m books, m notebooks and n books. Alright, you are spending 6m plus 12n dollars to buy m notebooks and n books. Okay, the number 240 represents the total amount of money that you have to spend on these, or that you have to spend on these. Alright, now let's do the first problem here. The first problem is, if you want to buy merely the notebooks for $240, how many of them could you buy? What's the maximum amount that you could buy? Okay, you have A is, this is given 6m plus 12n is less than or equal to 240. If you want to buy merely the notebooks, notebooks are represented by m here, m notebooks. Okay, so m is 0, excuse me, if you want to buy merely the notebooks, that means you are not buying any books, so n is 0. So it's 6m plus 12 times 0 is less than or equal to 240. Alright, so 12 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 6m becomes 6m is less than or equal to 240. Divide both sides by 6, you are left with m is less than or equal to 40. So you can buy up to 40 notebooks with $240 if you are going to buy merely the notebooks. Okay, let's go to the next problem. So the answer for this is m is less than or equal to 40. Okay, you can buy up to 40 notebooks. Okay, let's do problem B. If you want to buy merely the books, again books are represented by n, okay, number of books, how many of them could you buy? So in this case, again let's rewrite the inequality here. 6m plus 12n is less than or equal to 240. In this case you are merely buying books, you are not buying any notebooks. So in this case m is 0 because m represents the notebooks. It's 6 times 0 plus 12 times n is less than or equal to 40. 6 times 0 is 0 plus 12n is 12, n is less than or equal to 240, and n is less, excuse me, let's do one more step here. Divide both sides by 12, which leaves us with n is less than or equal to 20. Okay, this is the answer for the second problem, n is less than or equal to 20. So you can buy up to 20 books for $240. Okay, that's assuming that you are not buying any notebooks. Okay, so let's do C. If you want to buy 10 notebooks, how many books could you buy? So 10 notebooks cost how much? 10 notebooks cost, if each notebook is going to cost $6 and you are buying 10 notebooks, it's going to cost you $60, isn't it? 10 times 6, which is $60, and you're left with, you have $240 to start with, you have $240 to start with, right? You have in all $240. So in this case you are left with you're left with $240 minus $60, which is what? $180. Okay, with $180 and with books being priced $12 a book, how many can you buy? So it's you can buy up to 180 over 12, which is 15. So you can buy up to 15 books. Alright, you can buy up to 15 books. You can buy books is less than or equal to 15. That's the answer for this third problem. So let's review quickly the third problem. If you want to buy 10 notebooks, in this case you want to buy a problem C states you want to buy a combination of books and notebooks. So you want to buy 10 notebooks. How much are you left with to buy books? So 10 notebooks would cost $60 because each notebook costs $6. So you spend $60 to buy the notebooks. That leaves you with $180 because you had $240 in all. That leaves us with $180, and each book costs $12. So you can buy up to 15 books in case if you want to. All right. Okay. So let's move on to the next problem. So there are some questions here for graphing. Sometimes, right, in the SAT test, you are going to be presented with an equation like this, and 4 answer choices would be the graphs. You may be asked to choose one, right? So let's graph this. Okay, so always my suggestion to you would be to graph the equality sign first. 2x plus 3y is 30. Okay, then we can plug in this less than or equal to at the end. But remember, sometimes you have signs like this, as I said earlier, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, all are inequality signs. So in this case, if there is an equal to sign, I'm going to draw a line in a bold line. Where there is no equal to sign, I may be using the dotted line when it comes to inequality. Okay, keep that in mind. Where there is an equal to sign, like greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, I will be using bold lines. Where there is no equal to sign like this, greater than or less than, I may be drawing a graph like this. All right, so that's something I wanted to remember. Okay, so to start with, let's plot this line. Okay, to draw a graph, I need 2 points. Okay, the best way to draw the line is x, right? And we have y value. Let's see what this is. When x is 0, what is y? So in x is 0, 2 times x plus 3y is 30. This is what I have. So x is 0 plus 3y is 30. So 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3y is 3y on the left side is 30. Divide both sides by 3 so that you can determine y. So y is 30 over 3, which is 10. All right, when x is 0, y becomes 10. Let's see what is y. Let us see what is x when y is 0. So when y is 0, again go ahead and substitute 0 for y. Okay, so it becomes 2x plus 3y is 30. 2x plus 3 times y is 0 now, 30. So we're left with 2x on the left side, 30 on the right side. Divide both sides by 2, and you're left with x as 15. So when y is 0, x is 15. All right. So we got 2 points now. With 2 points, you can draw a line. So the best points are x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So when x is 0, find y. When y is 0, find x. You got 2 points so far. Okay, now that it's a less than or equal to sign, so let's draw this graph. Okay, let's draw this graph. I don't have a graph sheet, but let me try to do the best. Let me scale this as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let me scale this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that brings us to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right. So I graphed it, spaced it out in the scale of 2. So when x is 0, that is on the y-axis, y is 10. So we are talking about this point. When x is 0 and y is 10. When y is 0, x is 15. When y is 0, x is 15. So we are talking about this point. Okay, once you have these 2 points, you can just connect these 2 points, and I'm going to connect with the bold line because I have less than or equal to this, an equal to sign there, right? All right, so this is a graph for 2x plus 3y is 30. Okay, but that's not the question. The question has it as 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. So at this point, the best thing that you could do is pick any point. I would always prefer picking up the origin, this point, which is 0, 0. And see if that origin, if we pick up the origin and we substitute x as 0, y as 0, the equation holds. So the equation or inequality is 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. That is what is given here in this problem. I'm going to substitute x as 0, y as 0. So 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 is less than or equal to 30. So 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 30. Less than or equal to 30. So this is true. Alright, so that means the point 0, 0 is part of this inequality. If it was false, it is not. In this case, we got it as true. So the graph of 2x plus 3y is equal to 30 will look like this. Alright, so this is a graph of the inequality 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 30. So again, just to summarize, first try to draw a line based on the equality sign based on the linear equation, and then in order for me to draw a line, I need 2 points. My favorite points are x equals 0, y equals 0. When x is 0, find y. When y is 0, find x. Once you have 2 points, once you have these 2 points, you can draw a line. You can connect them and you can draw a line. Once you have drawn the line, and next you have to consider a point. I prefer 0, 0, and then I will see and apply this on the inequality. Apply this on the inequality here, which is here, and then see whether 0, 0 condition is true. Here 0 less than equal to 30 is true. If it was not true, the graph would have been like this. Let us say I got 40 is less than or equal to 30. That is false. So in that case, what I would do is the graph I would shade this region, the other region. Okay, but that's not the case here. Okay, so the red region is the right answer for this problem. All right. So let's move on to the next question, folks. Excuse me, let me change the font color here. All right. Graph the inequality y is greater than 5x plus 20. So let's start with y is equal to 5x plus 20. So in order for me to draw the graph, I need 2 points, x and y. When x is 0, find y. When y is 0, find x. So when x is 0 here, y equal to 5x plus 20, find y. So x is 0, 5 times 0 plus 20. So it is 20, y is 20. When x is 0, y is 20, right? And when y is 0, again, let's go back to here, 5x plus 20. When y is 0, what is x? 0 is equal to 5x plus 20. Remove 20 on both sides. This gets out. I'm left with minus 20 is 5x. So divide both sides by 5. I'm left with x is equal to negative 4. Okay, x is negative 4. Alright, so we have this table, so I'm just going to clear this out. So we have when x is 0, y is 20, and when y is 0, x is negative 4. Alright, so we know how to do that. I'm going to take this out. Alright, now let's do the graph. Again, when I do the graph, I have to decide whether I have to do dotted line or bold line, right? So I have to go back and check the equation. I don't have the equal to sign, so I'm going to choose dotted lines, right? So I'm going to choose dotted lines when I connect these 2 points. Again, so we have y value going up to 20. I'm going to choose a scale of 4, folks. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. All right, and x goes to negative 4. That's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to choose scale of 1. Okay, let's point. When x is 0, y is 20. That is this point. Okay, next one is when x is negative 4, y is 0. That is this point. All right, I'm going to connect these two points, but with the dotted line. Because there is no equality sign in the inequality question. In the question, the inequality, there's no equality sign. Okay, now I have to find out whether this region holds or this region holds. Whether it's above the line or below the line, I have to decide that and shade accordingly. Okay, again, my favorite point is pick a point 0, 0. Pick a point 0, 0 and see whether the inequality holds. The inequality in the question is y is greater than 5x plus 20. Let's pick 0, 0. That is y is 0 is greater than x is also 0 plus 20. 0 greater than 5 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 20 is 20. Is 0 greater than 20? This is false. So 0, 0, the point that we used, is not part of the inequality. Alright, so this point is not in the inequality. That means the graph is going to be, the region for this inequality is this. Alright, folks. Alright, so that's the inequality for, that's the graph for this inequality. Y is greater than 5x plus 20. Alrighty, I think we have one more problem. Let me change the pencil color here. Okay, here you have find any point in the region that is common to both these inequalities. So we are being asked to graph the inequalities. So in the previous question there was only one inequality. Other question we had only one inequality, but in this problem we have two inequalities. So we have to see where they merge, where they intersect. We have to find a common point, or a common region rather, and then find a point x comma y, okay, in the common region. So this is a lengthy problem, but let's try to do this. So again, y is equal to 3x plus 6. This is what we have to first sort out first. Okay, then we will worry about inequality x and y. So my favorite points are x is 0, y is 0. When x is 0, find y. When y is 0, find x. When x is 0, 3 times 0, let's do this here. Y is 3x plus 6. So when x is 0, 3 times 0 plus 6. Y is 3 times 0 is 0 plus 6 is 6. When x is 0, y is 6. Okay, let's rewrite this. Y is 3x plus 6. So when y is 0, the next point is what is x. When y is 0, this we are left with 0 is equal to 3x plus 6. Remove 6 from both sides. This gets cancelled out. I am left with minus 6 is 3x, or x is equal to negative 2. Alright. So when y is 0, x is negative 2. Alright. So we figured this out for the first inequality. Let's do the same thing for the next inequality. Alright. So next inequality we have is y, let's start with equal to negative 5x plus 10. Alright. So again let's do the same thing. Let's pick 2 points x and y. X is 0, what is y? And when y is 0, what is x? Let's find these. So y is negative 5x plus 10. When x is 0, y is negative 5 times 0 plus 10. So this is gone because that's 0 plus 10, y is 10. So this becomes 10. When x is 0, y is 10. Okay, let's do the same thing for to find the value of x when y is 0. So y is negative 5x plus 10. Now y is 0. Let's find x. Remove 10 from both sides. This is gone. Negative 10 is negative 5x. Divide both sides by negative 5. So we're left with 2 on the left side and x on the right side. So x should be 2. X should be 2. Alright. So when x is 0, y is 10. And when y is 0, x is 2. Okay, so we determined the 2 points for each of the linear equations here. Now let's try to draw the line. So again, before I draw the line, I have to decide whether I have to draw dotted lines or bold lines. Here I have the equal to sign. Here too I have the equal to sign. So both the lines are bold lines, okay, because I have the equal to sign in both the inequalities. Okay, so I'm going to well, let's try to do this here. Okay, you know what, I'm going to rewrite this. Y equal to negative 5x plus 10. I'm going to just rewrite this here, bring it here, okay, so that I can have some space there. So we have x and y values 0 and 10, 2 and 0. So let me get rid of this. Alright, and then let me use the space here. Excuse me on that. Alright, now let's draw the lines. So when x is 0, y is 6. Okay, y goes all the way from 6, 10. So let's do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Alright, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for y. X goes from negative 2 to 2. Let's keep this scale this. Alright, so let's choose this point. When x is 0, y is 6, which is this. And when y is 0, x is negative 2, which is this. And then I have to draw a bold line because there is an equal to sign in that inequality. Okay, this is the graph for this one. Y is equal to 3x plus 6. Now let me choose a different color here. Let me choose a different color. Now before we draw the next graph, what I'm going to do is, so we have to determine the region, whether should I shade this region or should I shade this region, right? That's something we have to decide. Again, I will choose my favorite point, which is 0, 0. So we have the inequality. The first inequality is y is less than or equal to 3x plus 6. when you apply x as 0, y as 0, you're left with 0 is less than or equal to 3 times 0 plus 6. 0 is less than or equal to, this is 0 plus 6 is 6. This is true. 0 is always less than 6. So the 0 comma 0 is part of this inequality. So I'm going to shade that with, let's say, blue. So this is a region we are talking about when we say y is less than or equal to 3x plus 6. All right. Okay, so we are totally done with the first inequality. So we have to now work on the second inequality. Let's draw the line for the second inequality now. All right, I'm going to choose a different color here. I'm going to choose red. Okay, when x is 0, y is 10. So we are talking about this point. When y is 0, x is 2. We are talking about this point. Okay, again I'm going to draw a bold line because there's an equal to sign in the inequality. Okay, I'm done with this, right? So now I have to choose a region. Whether should I choose, we shade this region or shade this region, above the line or below the line. Okay, in order for that, again I have to choose a point, and my favorite point is 0 comma 0, and the equation we have is y is less than or equal to negative 5x plus 10. Substitute x as 0, y as 0, y less than or equal to minus 5 times 0 plus 10, 0 less than or equal to 10. So this condition is true. That means the point 0 comma 0 is part of this point 0 comma 0 is part of the inequality. So we have to shade this graph below the line. So it goes this way for the red one. All right. Okay. So now the question is, which region has both red and blue lines? That's the intersection region for both these inequalities. So clearly it is this. I'm going to use this. Clearly it is this. It is this region that has both red and blue lines. That's where both the inequalities have some intersection. Okay. So that would be the answer for this. This is a region where both of these inequalities would meet. So now the question is asking us to find a point in this region that is common to both the inequalities. So you can pick any point. My favorite point 0 comma 0 is part of both red and blue lines. So I can just say 0 comma 0 could be one of the answers. All right, folks. So today we covered just a brush up. We covered the linear inequalities with two variables. We constructed from the word problems. We constructed equations or rather inequalities having two variables a and b, m and n, x and y. We did some word problems, context problems, and then we did graph the inequalities. Okay, in this in couple of problems there was only one inequality that we graphed in, but in the last problem there were two inequalities. We had to bring them together and find a common region and find a point in that region. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you were able to brush up whatever you learned in the past about the linear inequalities. I'm sure there is one or two questions in the SAT test about linear inequalities, and I hope this video lecture would help you get through those questions. All right. So thank you for listening. Sorry it took a while, but I hope that I will see you in another video quite soon.